y'all ready to go?
Okay. I can start with George Walker, which was my great-grandfather, Dale's and Mentor's, and your dad's. He had, I can't remember now exactly, I think he had 5 girls.
Must have had 5 girls, didn't he?
Five girls.
We figured out.
Yeah, and my grandmother, my dad's mom, was one of them. Her name was Matilda Walker Owens. All right. Dale's dad was one of the girls. His mom was one of the girls.
Yeah.
Cousin Ben's mom was one of the daughters also. Mentor's grandmother,
Yeah, this is her right here.
yeah, that was one of the daughters.
We'll hold up, I meant to.
Her
Okay,
name is
Yeah.
Betty.
okay,
Betty Walker.
Yeah,
okay.
they were all,
was married.
yeah. And your grandmother they were all first cousins to my dad. First cousins, because Dale and I are double. We were double kin. We come in on both sides of the house. The Kemps, the Dooleys, then the Oranges, and the Canes. We're double. Yeah. Can't get no closer than that unless you're brother and sister. Healy's, we come through on the Orange side, that we are connected to Smiths and Healy's. I don't know, I can't really, and Dale may take it a little bit further, can't really remember where Grandpa Walker started from. I don't know where he really came into this community at, but I can't give you any history on that. He also had another sister. Yeah, I don't know whether any of y'all remember it, but Al Bessie should, and Al Milton. Theo Seawright
Oh, yeah.
used to live
We
over
heard of
in
that.
Springfield. His mother was a sister also.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We heard of that.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, DOC, right, she said his mother,
His mother
okay.
was also George Walker's daughter.
Oh, okay,
They all were sisters' kids.
okay. So George Walker had how many daughters?
Well, he had, my grandmother heard it 1, 2, 3, 4. He had about 5.
Well, he had one from Pilgrim Rest. Didn't some man marry one down there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I
He had
can't think of.
he had 5 daughters.
5 daughters. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, good. And that's why all of them his family sort of spread out.
Started spreading out, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Dale, you got any more thoughts on Walker's?
George Walker came in here after the Civil War. And now, where do the girls came from, huh?
I think the girls all, I don't know whether they were small when he got here. I think most of them was probably born here.
Oh, they were born here.
Yeah, in this community.
Okay,
Yeah.
now,
Back in the, 1800s?
in 1800.
Yeah.
George found that group of family, that group of people, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And he married.
I don't know who he married. I don't have any history on my great grandmother there. I don't know what happened there.
Now, Mr. Ben Kane, he raised Mr. Ben Kane, right? His parents.
I think Grandpa raised him.
Yeah,
Yeah, George, what she saying?
Yeah.
George Walker.
Yeah, Grandpa raised him.
Grandpa.
Raised him and Uncle Booker.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he raised them. And them girls, he raised them, didn't he?
yeah. Raised the girls too.
Raised who?
Them girls,
Okay.
his wife must have died.
Yeah, she must, back in the 1800s, something, he must have lost her or something.
Yeah. So he
Because
had,
there's no, you can't get any history on that. So it's just him. So apparently, he lost his wife and that's someplace.
yeah,
So now he's raising everybody.
yeah, he raised them.
Yeah,
Oh, see.
That's something.
Now, George Walker, came in and homesteaded hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds, the land that we're on now.
Yeah,
I suspect Mr. George Ely was named for him.
oh, yeah,
Uh-huh. The land, that's George Ely's land.
yeah. Yeah, they all was, the Elys, Kings, Owens, the Seawrights, all first cousins that come through George Walker's daughters.
That's So at Smith, you was involved?
Well,
in that?
yeah, he was with the, well, he was Smith, but his grandmother was an Ely,
Oh, okay, okay.
see?
But this, what was she for? She was eating there.
But she was, no, she
born
wasn't,
Ely.
she was born Ely.
She was born either way.
Yeah, that's
that's my
that's Contas and them sisters.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Bertha,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, Bertha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it came through, the Elys came through your grandmother.
I meant to, can you tell us how many brothers and sisters your father had?
I got a list somewhere. What I do with it?
You had it the other day.
I know you, George,
Well, he had Richard,
Homer, I
yeah,
know,
Richard, George, Homer, Taft,
Sam.
Richard,
Y'all don't remember, y'all don't remember Sam.
Well, she asked the question.
no, she wanted to
Well, she asked how many brothers and sisters on
Did,
tap.
did, up to,
Yeah, okay,
the Taft
okay.
half, yeah.
I think sister said,
Where did I
I think she said
stick
18
that
at one
thing
time.
at?
I think
18?
that's what she said.
18?
I think that's what she said.
No.
okay. Oh, she got it, yeah.
The youngest was named Sam.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, y'all can't remember him.
Where'd I stick that thing
So that's how we got, obviously a large number of these.
Yeah,
I thought he had a, that was
Yeah.
big. That was a big tree there, I tell you. A lot of these.
and see, my dad, he didn't have any sisters. They were all brothers. It was, Haywood Owens used to live in Conway. Haywood Owens. Then
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Then my dad, Silas, then he had two brothers that left here early, at an early age.
Uncle Lee.
Yeah, well, Lee was the baby, but he had Roy Owens and what was the other name? Roy and I can't remember Roy and Arthur Owens. He had two brothers left when they were teenagers. They left this community, never come back. Roy, Arthur, and Haywood, and my dad, Lee, and then they had one in Memphis. You remember him,
Yeah,
Tillman?
yeah. He never
Tillman
come
Owens.
back, did he?
No, he never did come back.
So your dad was pretty much the only one that pretty much
Yeah,
stayed,
right.
homestead here.
Right.
Okay, okay.
I'm not to have the list.
Uh,
You wanna read it real loud where I can hear you?
Bird Ely. He was the father of my dad. He was a preacher. Reverend Bird Ely. And his mother, Betty Walker Ely. That's his mother. And the children was, number one, Richard Ely, Bertha Ely Smith, George Ely, Amanda Ely, she met her Lee, Homer Ely, Betty Ely Walker, Asa Ely, Brewer,
Yeah, got it, bud.
and Ruth Ely. And my dad, William Howard Tagg Ely, he got Ely names. And his baby brother Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 10, yeah.
Yes. Big family.
But he had 15 children, my dad did.
And Conben, how many y'all had there?
What?
Yeah, how many did come in here?
brothers?
Yeah, if, brothers, sisters, you had quite a few, didn't you?
Well, some of them was half, come to find out. See, there was Uncle Ellis, they was
Yeah,
half.
Ellis, yeah, Ellis.
And Uncle Neil, they was half. You see, these full sisters was Aunt Della and Uncle Booker.
That was Ellis who?
She was married twice, I think. She was married to Collier Martin last time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. That's his full sister. You see, I guess them only, you see, Aunt Della. I don't know if that's the only full sister he had, best I can remember. But he had one full brother, Uncle Booker.
Yeah, I remember Booker and then Ellis.
Yeah, he was
He
half.
lived, yeah, he lived in Tulsa, didn't he?
Yeah.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And Uncle Neil and Uncle Ellis, he was brother and sister, but they was half to Uncle Booker and my
Yeah.
dad, yeah.
Yeah,
That may have been who dad was named.
Are y'all hearing me?
probably.
Yeah, you can, that's right.
Yeah.
She has another list, the other list of your family.
My list of my family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, William Howard Taft Ely, he's my father. He was born in 1912. The 9th and the 27th, 1912. My mother named Hester Thompson Ely. She born May 7th, 1915. And that's your auntie, Hester Ely.
That's your daddy's sister.
Anyway, 15 children. Okay, the first one, Cape Hoyne Ely, Hubert Ely, Clifton T. Ely, Verlene Washington Ely. She was born on Washington Day. My name Almetta Ely. I'm a Blackwell man. And that's Howard Ely, Calvin Ely, Woodrow Ely, Billy L.C. Ely, Bobby T.L. Ely, Taffy Ely Jr., Nadine Ely Guyton, Ralph Lee Ely, Dennis Wayne Ely, and William T. Ely.
That's probably would be the biggest family unit,
Oh, yeah.
probably by far.
Oh, yeah.
In the area, I would think.
And he had 3 sons that got his name.
Mhm.
See,
That's
his
right.
name was William Howard Taft Ely. And his baby boy named William T.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the oldest boy living right now is Howard.
Yeah.
And Taft Jr. is still there. So you got 3 kids.
Now, you named one that I didn't recognize. I know mostly all of them. It was probably the second one.
The second one, Hubert.
Hubert, yeah.
Yeah, he died when he was about a year old.
Okay.
I didn't know him, but
Okay.
I kept him in my
That was
mind.
one I didn't recognize, okay. All
Well,
right.
I'll give you a little history on my dad. Him and my mom had 11 kids.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, she had 2 sets of twins. The first 2 kids was twins,
Oh, I see.
a boy and a girl, that she didn't have any luck with. Then she had Mason, Dawson, Cy Jr. Then she went 3 girls, Pauline, Lola Mae, Ferris. Then another set of twins came, twin boys. Came between me and Ferris. And she didn't have any luck with it.
Okay.
But she had 11 total.
That is very interesting. Okay, good.
And out of that 11, I'm the only one left. They're all gone. Just after the first of this past year, I flew to California and buried my last sister that was alive, Lila.
Yeah.
So they all gone, man.
So my dad had 12 boys and only 3 girls. And it's 8 of us still live.
Oh, that's-
And I'm the oldest. And one girl still living. I got 7 brothers on them. Still here.
Okay, there were 10 of us. Chris was the oldest one. Boy, y'all remember him or not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was next to him. Oldest sister was Nana Ruth. She was married to Youngs. Buddy Mae Gallatin. And then we see which one next, Buddy Mae Gallatin. I guess Irma Lee. Let's see. I believe Irma Lee was the next one of the twins. O and T was twins.
yeah, yeah.
You had G. Miami. Yeah. And had Lois.
Jimmy Dean.
But Jim leave his, yeah, Jimmy Dean.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it was 10 of us. Louis, yeah.
Louis was the baby, man.
I was trying to think, but which one was the baby? Lois, I think, was the baby.
No, I thought
Huh?
Louis the baby.
Louis.
Louis was the baby. I remember when both of them was born, all right, but I can't remember much about Louis. I can remember about Lois, because Lois and Charles were born the same day, in the same island. That was helping the midwife. Go from one to the other, just goes out to the house.
Well, that was the thing that they had back in the day also. Nobody ever went to a hospital and had a baby.
That midwife.
Had it right here.
And Miss Debbie, she was the midwife
Yeah,
then.
Cousin Debbie, they say, go get her.
Yeah.
And Aunt Maddie.
Hey, man, was midwife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her and A.W.
Yeah,
And Grandma Thompson.
Yeah.
Bertie
I know-
Thompson.
Yeah.
She was the main one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bertie.
Miss Debbie took it over after she died, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you know, kids know everything now. Back in them days, we didn't know nothing. Well, I don't know. If Mama tell Papa to go get A.W. and the next thing he bring her, man, we hear a baby crying. Never, you know, that's something. You never. But now kids know everything. I didn't know nothing.
Bobby, you're gonna get into a little bit of legacy of your dad, how he got started in stonework, you know, and, what, you know, did he give you any history of how he started and all that?
yeah, it's true, you got time? He actually, you're sitting in one of his buildings, give you a little history of this community center here. It used to be a school. The old school was burned, but, I went to the 9th grade here. Had 9th grade here. Your dad was the principal here.
Exactly, because
And, yeah. And, I finished the 9th grade here and then went to Conway High School. But, my dad, didn't have much education. I guess it was just a gift because he only went to the 8th grade in school. He only had an 8th grade education. But you could roll out a blueprint on this table. He could read it, tell you what scale it was in. I mean, and it takes somebody 8 years to learn how to do that in school, but he could do it. He could do it. It's just a gift, you know, and, he would, I think he started off, I think it was old Charlie Hall, if you remember up here, Charlie Hall. I think that's about one of the first houses that he rocked. Well, the old highway used to go off the hill.
Is that house still there?
I don't know, it's been a while since I went that route, so I don't know. Since you can't go all the way down the hill now, so I don't know.
What is it?
Charlie Hall, you remember Charlie Hall
Yeah,
used to be
yeah,
right
that
there?
house, yeah,
It's
he's
still
still
there?
there.
It's a rock house.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, any of those houses that back when the state was learning that he did them, you couldn't tear them down. I think they made it where you couldn't tear them down. You had to leave it up. It's kind of like a church on a military installation. You can't tear it down. You can move it, add to it, but you can't take it. You can't tear it down. So
They wrote a book about
Yeah.
how they hope they can't tear it down. The
Right.
wind can't tear it down.
right, no. He I think he did a lot of teaching in this building right here. He taught people how to do carpentry, cabinet work. Like I say, he only had 8th grade education. Now, where he got this, it had to be, the Lord had to give it to him.
He had no formal education.
No formal education. He used to tell me he used to walk, I believe he said 3 miles, 6 miles a day. He walked from here and cut what they call stave boats, if you know what that is. All day long, and walk back home for $10 a week.
You're a good linebacker.
Back then, he was.
That took a lot of endurance.
Then he started out carpentry, laying stone, and he had his own style. My brother and I tried to lay rock like he lay. There's no way. No way. I had to do my own. I tried to pattern after him, but you can't do it. Can't do it. He had his own way of doing it.
A unique skill.
And whatever I did on that wall, it wasn't gonna look like his. I don't care what I done. It just wasn't gonna look like his. You know, I found that out early. But he was a perfectionist. Whatever he done, he did it right the first time. He believed in taking his time and doing it right. Give you an incident. One time, my brother and I, old Silas Jr., he and I was on a wall. We were on a brick wall. I had that thing up about waist, chest high. And I kept telling my brother, you know, in the middle of that wall, when they get so long, we would set what we call a twig to keep the line straight. So my brother set the twig and I'd sight it. And I'd tell him, I said, man, you need to get that down. He'd say, oh, it's all right. I'd shake my head. I didn't say that. Pretty soon, my dad stepped around the corner and looked down that wall. He never said a word to me and my brother. He just come down that wall and started pulling it out. He started pulling it out. Snatched it out on the ground, turned around, looked at me and my brother. He said, now. He pointed his finger at us. He said, now. Never raised his voice. You very seldom heard him raise his voice. He was very calm. He would say, boys, build it like I taught you. I mean, he wasn't going to until that wall come up right. He just wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
We had to do it right. And of course, I got mad at my brother and me and him around there, getting mad and arguing with each other. And he said, well, he told me and my brother, he said, you can argue all you want, but the walls are going back. Y'all going to build it? He said, and incidentally, he said, oh, by the way, you're not going to get paid for it either. So he learned us a lesson. Yeah, he learned us a lesson. Powerful lesson.
Yeah.
And he was on a wall. I forget where we were. I think we were in Quitman or someplace. We were laying rock. And I'm standing down on the ground looking at my dad. He's laying rock. And I said, hey, Dad. He said, yeah. I said, can I come up there and try that? He said, yeah, come on. I got up on the scaffold. I turned around and looked at that wall that he was working on. I looked at one little place I looked back at this rock, and to me, that rock would fit that. So I picked that rock up and I laid it in there, creased the joint. He looked at it, turned around, looked at me, never said a word. Left the rock in there and went rocking around it. I was only about 12, maybe 13 years old. So he knew then. I mean, I didn't like it. It didn't really take a part of me until I was about 19, 20 years old. So then that type of work finally took a toll on me. But before that, I just didn't like it at all.
It's hard work.
Your father, this building is herringbone.
Yeah,
Everybody going back to it now. You look on TV, everybody, that was how many years ago?
oh.
70 years ago.
Yeah, he was born in 1907.
Uh-huh.
He was born in 1907.
And
And my mother both born in 1907.
When the sun is shining, you can see the glister of the rocks on this building.
Yeah, he told me, you probably know that too, by working with the state, but he told me that how all of this got here during the school and stuff, that the state, I think it was, and the county came to him and asked him, said, well, would you, he owned all this land in here, and they said, would you donate some land for the school? If you donate some land, then we'd build the buildings. He donated a half acre here. And they built the school and then turned around and hired him to lay. They built and hired him to build it.
You didn't tell us about the Smith family.
They pretty well covered it well. The Smith family, Bird Ely was.
Excuse me, may I, the papers say the Smiths sell in Damascus, some Smith.
But I have no idea about
About that, okay.
it. One thing, when I'm gonna be like a witness, I'm gonna talk about what I know.
Okay.
And what I know is that Bird Ely was Bertha Ely's father. He was a minister, and she married George Smith, and they had like 9 children. And from that's how we are connected to the Elys, the
Yeah.
Smith wives.
Yeah.
And only thing that they ever told us as children, we was related to everybody. You know what I mean? In the community, we was related to everybody in the community one way or another. And now how the branches fell or where they were positioned, we didn't know, but we just know this was your cousin this, cousin that, and so there was no detailed information about how we were connected, but we just knew we were connected.
Okay.
And that was it. Like I say, out of their it was 9 children, 3 boys and 6 girls. And Lois Walker was the youngest, and I believe Aunt Orime, Aunt Babe, Aunt Azy, they were the older ones.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically my knowledge of how we were connected.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Most of the people here are farmers, and your father continued on farming. Your father a farmer, yours a farmer. Now, where they get all that land? Let's start with.
We
them.
from Cane Bottom.
King Bottom.
Yeah.
Cane Bottom, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, and that's how they got that name, Cane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandpa owned that. He said he owned from Zion Grove, clean to Summer Grove.
Yeah.
From highway to highway. So we formed the Cane Bottom back then, because we wasn't making that way, we formed it. I guess the land was wore out before must have been wore out before there wasn't nothing but sand. You remember nothing but sand down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we formed it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And why was Cane Bottom located? I'm not sure.
Where is it?
Where is the Cane Bottom? Where is it located? Can you give some physical?
All that land back down on the creek, that's the Cane Bottom.
Oh, okay.
Starting up there,
What creek?
huh?
What
Go to the cabin.
The cabin back there,
North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
North Catherine,
North Carolina.
yeah.
And since y'all from it, they call it Cane Bottom.
Yeah, he owned it. I don't know if
Yeah.
Kane's owned it, he owned it, and we called it Cane Bottom.
Okay.
Couldn't have them, they owned, they farmed it too. My dad couldn't have farmed it, but,
Yeah.
They had a field down there called Ely Field.
yeah.
You got a Ely field?
Yeah, it used to be Ely Field.
Yeah.
Popping them houses, go down.
Yeah.
They had a whole little.
Yeah, that's why we went off hill to the Cane Bottom. Yeah,
Oh, that's where it came from.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, all that bottom down there,
Y'all raise mostly corn and a
grass mostly.
just the grass.
Nothing but grass would grow.
Yeah, we really didn't have no, we hadn't towed our crop up and down there, we didn't have nothing that would pull a wagon up that mountain.
Yeah,
Back
we,
then, they didn't have them little horses, you know, and they'd get to the hills and they'd start backing up.
me and my brother Silas Junior, we used to do, my dad, you know, did construction all the time, so we did what they call a little truck patch. We would have potatoes,
Yeah, they all had
Corn.
back in the school.
stuff like that, just out in the field there, 'cause my mom, what she called a garden was an acre. You had to plow a whole acre of land just for a garden, you know.
That's
But, and we would cut hay. We had, down behind Charlie Hall, right? My dad had a meadow down there, so me and Cy Junior would go down there and, I had no riding mower, pull about a mules. And let it down, you know, I'd go on there and cut the hay. And he would come along and rake it up, and then had a frame built for the wagon. And we'd go along there and take that fork, throw that hay up, and there wasn't no baling, you didn't bale nothing. You had to put it
Put it
on.
around a pole.
Yeah, and then bring it to the barn, do the same thing, you know.
Now, George Walker married three of the, no, he was the, he married,
He was the father, old man George was the father of all of our grandmothers.
okay. That's why, when we look at, when your great-great-grandkids look at this, we want them to,
Yeah,
you know,
see, the Ely, the Kings, the Owens, Smith,
okay.
you know, still Ely. They're all
That's hundreds of
connected.
people,
They're all connected through
George Walker.
George Walker.
We done left out one. Cause George Ealy's wife was married to Abe Mellon.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Mellon, that's right, yeah, that's right, she was a king, Mellon,
Yeah.
Cousin Mellon, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, her and Booker were brother and sister, wasn't it? And,
Now, that's a subject I gotta dig in and find out. I never have figured that out.
they always said that her and Booker, but your dad was there also,
Yeah, cause George Ely was first cousin.
yeah, so,
I don't know.
I don't know.
We better let that alone.
Yeah,
That's all hang out.
yeah, we might,
Gotta do some more research.
But we
Yeah,
did leave her out.
we might want to do some more research on that one.
We left her out. That's
Yeah.
Papa's auntie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Sure was. Yeah, you sure right. I forgot about that.
Little Hester Ely, Richard Ely's daughter, wrote a lot, and she talked about her grandfather, hired people. He used the talent that he learned while he was enslaved, and he planted a molasses, sorghum, wheat. I don't know if they don't still plant wheat anymore. He planted corn and hired people to come in and help him work. and were considered to be well-to-do. Now, your Ely, Reverend Ely, was well-to-do too. I don't know how they supposed to get to make all that money. I mean, through land, was it through land?
Well, some people could borrow money back in the farm. Now, Cousin
Yeah.
Richard,
Yeah.
he could borrow money, he could fertilize his crops. Rest of the people, they didn't fertilize their crops, they didn't make that, like Cousin Richard did. He raised, put his peanuts, corn,
Yeah,
cotton.
he could, what they
He
call
had to
it.
have some help to get his stuff. He had a good credit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good credit. And
He,
so,
he could go up at Damascus and
Get
load
what he
up with
want.
fertilizer and all
Get
that
what
kind
he
of
want,
stuff.
yeah.
Get what he wants, but nobody else could do that. That's how he gathered along, we know, hiring people to do stuff, yeah, because he raised good crops.
now, Reverend Ely house was, had a big home, house.
Yeah.
And back there where behind where George Ray lived, and they had a place when someone passed away, a room, that's where people went to mourn. Not many people do that. Well, now they have cemetery, they have you have funeral home. But back then, they didn't have funeral home.
No.
And so when someone passed away, the family had to take care of. And visitors and friends, etc., would go to their home and sit with them. The body would stay in the home. So, according to Hester, that had that room set up, no kids, no grandkids, nobody were allowed to go in that room. Only when someone passed away. So that was well to do. She drew the house, the outline how the house was built.
Now, the source of income then for all of these, because that's gotta be the thing, was primarily from farming. Now, your
Well, I mean,
dad,
my dad was building.
building, he made his
Yeah.
money building.
Yeah.
Okay, because you had some that was wealthy. You had an Uncle Pierce. Owen, did you know him?
Pierce Ely.
Pierce, was he you?
Evans.
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 Now, he was
Yeah.
considered to be wealthy.
Yeah, he was,
He was
yeah,
a farmer down there, where Mick Young played, he owned all that, but back then.
yeah.
Pierce owned that, they bought that land from Mr. Pierce Ely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why he sort of got his wealth, because he was the first to have an automobile, I understand. One of the first, to have an automobile.
Yeah.
Drive around. Yeah, okay.
You're talking about Pierce Evans?
Yes.
Yeah.
His wife did not work. She would, she had somebody drive her buggy. She was, had buggies back then.
Yeah.
And he's very proud of his wealth. And land as well.
Now,
Now,
what kind of pay did your dad make, like if he did a house, rock a house, what kind of pay do you think he would make for rocking a house?
Back then,
Yes.
back then it was considered big money. Give you an example. Say brick, if he was bricking one. Then back in his day, $40 1,000
Oh, $40 was like
was a lot of money. But that won't even touch one brick now. You know, now it's $500,000 1,000, maybe more. But back then, $40 1,000, and he'd made money at it. Because see, then he only paid his bricklayers $2 an hour, which was big money.
Yeah, I would think.
His laborers made $1 an hour, but you could go to the store with making that kind of money back then and put it, you couldn't even put it all in the trunk of the car, you know. But that's how,
Made it well.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
yeah. You know, an acre of land back then, I think maybe 50 cents an acre.
Yeah.
If that,
Dollar, I
if
think.
that, $1 an
I
acre.
think $1. I
Yeah.
think George Walker bought
Yeah,
He drove the check from the Army, and that's how he went about getting all this land.
right,
He drove the check from the Army. Back then, they paid the soldiers
yep.
after they served time, so much money a month. Yeah.
And you might remember, Al Bessie, that my grandmother, Matilda, after my grandfather died, you know, she married Bill McFarlane. You remember that?
Married who?
Bill McFarlane.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like, y'all related to the McFarland?
Yeah, she married him,
Uh-huh.
and she died the same day I was born.
Oh,
I was born November 27th, 1943, and the same day I was born, she died.
Greg, how did they build them big fine homes like they had?
Well, like I said, back then, they could do it because you could buy, you could go to, they used rough cut lumber. It wasn't sawmill, you just went to the sawmill and bought the lumber without, you know, it wasn't finished.
But you remember all of them had big nice homes?
Big, nice homes.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah,
Didn't
Yeah.
have lights or nothing.
no. Yeah, I remember, studying my schoolwork by Coal Atlanta. We didn't have any lights in the house back then for a long time. I think the first TV I ever laid eyes on was 1957.
1950 when we first got it.
Yeah. So it was, you know,
Demo, in your writing, I read your interview, and you gave to this gentleman. And what about Horseshoe Mountain?
Huh?
out of Green
Horseshoe Mountain?
on top of,
Yeah, didn't y'all live over there?
No, I know.
Somehow it mentioned that you were,
I was born there back in the church. You see them big houses back there?
uh-huh,
That's where I was born at.
where?
Behind the church, over behind the church.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Grandpa gave Uncle Booker and Papa's little land, so we had to move over that down. We stayed down further down. You remember we stayed down in that field? It was close to the Ely field.
No, see, I don't,
You done forgot that?
I forgot that.
Yeah, you see Nathan, Chris Well.
No, all right.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
they was down there, and they made, she had to move down there, cause that's why Uncle Booker gave him that land back down there.
Okay.
So we didn't, he thought we owned that back of the church, but he didn't. He owned it, but somebody lost it in the family.
Booker, you mentioned Uncle Booker. That's your father's brother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just two of them.
Huh?
Was it two brothers? I mean, just two?
Just them two full brothers.
Oh, I see.
Okay, this was a half.
Okay.
Yeah. His dad was a Fleming.
Oh, the Fleming.
Yeah, from Hollis, that's how he involved with them over at Hollis Springs.
Right. So, and when they look at your history, you got some Flemings relatives.
I guess, some
Yeah.
kind of way.
See, Uncle Booker was Kamartine's father.
So what?
Uncle Booker was Kamartine's father.
Okay.
yeah.
And Joseph, they had the two of them.
Joseph, yeah.
Mhm.
He used to live back up behind Poppenham House up on that hill back there. With Joseph Kane and
Yeah,
a lot of folks used to live behind our
yeah.
house back down in there.
Y'all come out down in there, couldn't they?
Because Grandpa even them.
That was back in the day, you had houses everywhere around here.
They had houses everywhere down there.
Mm-hmm. This Greg Kemp and all them from down there.
Yeah.
All down there where that all wells was at. My grandma and them all on that land down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to get y'all together, and when we do the legacy, if y'all want to tell us any, wrap up and tell us anything y'all want to, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when your grandkids and great grandkids come in and look at your work, look at the legacy.
Yeah.
Farmers, your father was a farmer, your
He was a builder,
builder.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Dad was, they would call him a part-time farmer. He retired from Alcoa in Benton,
Yeah.
but he was a weekend farmer. We came up on the weekends and he raised beef cattle. And then his brothers was up here, so they kind of watched things during the week, and we would come up on the weekend and do things. And,
Hoover was
he was
a dairy, wasn't he?
Uncle Hoover
Dairy
was a
farmer.
dairy farmer.
Yeah.
Uncle Ela was a carpenter. And one thing Dad always stressed, he stressed one thing, the value of owning land. I mean, that was, to keep the land, because land was collateral. And he always talked about having cows. Cows were collateral too. That's stuff you could have instant money. You know, if you needed some money, you had a few cows, send cows to the sale, you could have some cash.
Yeah.
He said, don't sell the land, but if you need some money, get a loan against the land, pay the loan back, you got the money and the land. So that was old school wisdom that still work today.
That's right.
Because it'll cost you, if you sell something and you try to buy it back, you can never get it back for what you sold it for.
No, no.
Never get it back. You're right.
Kind of like buying an automobile. You can buy it, sign the contract, drive it from here to the highway and back, and they won't buy it back for what they just sold.
Right. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Okay. Hey, we got about 10 more minutes. Y'all have anything y'all want to discuss and while we together?
I would like to make one comment. You know, when I was said that the only way I knew that we were related because my grandparents and parents had this cousin, so and so cousin, this and that. If some way we could be like you doing this, be more detailed about how you related, then we would know how to tell our children this is your cousin. And when they say this is your cousin, it has little value to them just saying that they're your cousin without knowing how they're your cousin.
Right.
So with this kind of assignment or this project that's going on here, this will give some validity of how they're your cousin.
Right.
and another way you can do it, I had my nephew, his son, little Haywood up here. He did, what do you call that? What, the ancestors. He been doing some ancestry on the Owens, and he found some people that come out of some parts of Virginia that's related to the Owens. And that was the same thing he said. He said, I don't want my kids not to know who their people are. He said, so he was trying to run down some, and he found some people. He found, I think she wound up being, her name was Rachel Owens. I think she wound up being my grandfather's mother, Haywood Owens' mother. Her name was Rachel Owens, and she was born in 1874. I think it was Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
And he found some more stuff, you know, that he was researching. Yeah.
To ancestry.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people doing
I didn't know that there were people interested in their ancestors. I've done that study. It'd be nice if we had a meeting and where people just could talk about.
Yeah.
Because during family reunion, it goes so fast. You don't have time to get into the real ancestors.
Well, the young man here, he's right about what he's saying about that, because so many times we got grandkids that don't know anything about their people. Now, what's going to happen there sooner or later? is that they gonna meet
You
each
wanna
other.
know?
They gonna meet each other, and some of them may even marry.
That's right.
I mean, let's face it. So they need to know.
Yeah, it's like my kids and all, they don't know nothing about him.
Yeah.
They don't know about it.
Don't know nothing about
They
it.
don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I ain't been too long know anything about it.
You see, I think where I met you one time
Church.
at church,
Yeah.
and I asked you who were some of your people, and when you told me who your dad was, I said, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
You
I know his dad well, but I didn't know him.
yeah, yeah,
Another thing too would be that you find out we come from people that had value and character.
yeah.
You know, you used to talk about people that were wealthy and had substance and had material things. And if we come from that means we can acquire that.
That's
You
right.
know, a lot of people have no hope because they don't know, they don't see any future from their past. But when you look at your past and see your ancestors possessed things and had things and passed things on, we could do the same thing.
It's just like another, I know you remember when Al Bessie will too. And Almetta, I don't know whether you remember, Astor Morris, you remember him?
Right.
He used to live back on that hill where we're talking about, back behind where your grandmother and them is. There was a guy in there called Astor Morris.
I remember him. And Almetta got a picture here of the Reverend Bird Ely and Miss Ely is over there. We need to take that picture. I don't know if your children have seen this